And in the wood yard, I got a big pile of wood and I got some big chainsaws. Let's get cutting. So today is a glorious day. There's hardly any wind. The sun is shining. It's about 25 degrees. It's morning. I've got at least 4 or 5 hours and I got a bunch of wood. So yesterday I moved all this wood over here up against the barn, and this is all the nasty stuff, the stuff that's too big, the crotchy stuff, and then over here is the good stuff for the processor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm first gonna take off some of the crotches. I'm gonna kind of cut some of the chunks out of these so that they're good, nice and straight. Kind of trim them up a little bit, so to speak. And I've got some logs right over here that I'm gonna trim up where the cats are hanging out. A lot of those have crotches and some forks and things like that. I'm gonna trim those up. And then this big pile that's back here, there's a bunch of big stuff like this right here. This one right here is probably, I don't know, it's close to a 40-incher. It's big. And then this guy right here, this is a whole bunch of crotches here. Yeah, I see ya. And so all this stuff back here is stuff that's not good for the processor because it's too big, too crooked, too crotchy, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do some cutting. So I've got my 572 XPG and I've got my 592 XP Husqvarna chainsaws. I'm gonna sharpen them up right now and we're gonna get cutting. So for those of you that haven't been around much, I sharpen a lot of the times with my Dremel 3000. I also have a couple other Dremels. I use the Oregon 7/32 bits. It's a fast, easy way to sharpen, especially if you've got a really dull chain where you've hit rocks or a nail or something nasty in the wood and you've got to bring the tooth back to life. Filing takes a long time if you really have a damaged tooth or teeth, and this is really fast. So I use this quite often. I'm using my ELB, my electric box liberator. It's a 1,000-watt power station. I use it when I'm on location. It's something that somebody sent me from the company to use. It's really nice, really handy. So I'm gonna sharpen this puppy up right now. So both of the saws are sharpened up, they're oiled up, and they're gassed up. I'm ready for total, complete annihilation and carnage right now. Here we go, cutting time. That's a lot of sawdust. I did a bunch of ripping on these big nasties. I cut just the 2 worst ones here. up into chunks that are somewhat manageable, and I should be able to get some good wood out of it. There's going to be some stuff for birch wood in there too, like chunk like that and stuff. So then I trimmed up these edges on these, and well, hello there, Mr. Pretty Cat. And I trimmed up these edges over here on these. I kind of cut all the chunks off. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to move my truck out of the way. I'm going to go get the tractor, and then I'm going to take these logs here that are ready to go for the processor and put them over here now that I got this cleared out right in here. So I'm going to put them right in this area, and then I'm going to start cutting on this big stuff here. So that's the plan. So beautiful day. It's really too bad you guys can't be here, that you're sitting at a cubicle in an office or sitting on your throne at home, because it is gorgeous out here today. It's probably 30 degrees, hardly any wind, sun. Beautiful day to be outside. Okay, back to work. So as you just saw, I cut up some of these big bad boys, some of the worst ones I got cut up. And he probably noticed when I was ripping, my rips were going crescent shaped, they were curved. You can see this one's curved, this one's curved, a bunch of them are curved. And it's because I hit the ground. I just looked at my chain. One side, I must have hit just one side just right. When the ground is cement here, it's not just dirt. And yeah, I noticed it was cut and crooked. You can see the crescent shape on this big cookie here that I cut off because I ripped that. Look at that curve on that baby. It's got quite a curve to it. So that means I get to let that saw take a break because I'm going to sharpen it again just a little bit. And I got another saw waiting over there. That's the big one. I'm going to start up the 592 and go that way. So beautiful day. Like I said before, you should be here. So I just sharpened up both of the saws. One I had hit the ground, I know for sure. It was cutting real crooked. It's just one side was dull, and the other side, both sides were dull. I must have hit the ground with that one too. I didn't notice, but it just stopped cutting really good. It didn't cut squat. So got a bunch more stuff here to cut, and I gassed up both saws. I went through about 2.5 tanks so far. You know, cutting this big wood like this is a little extra work because you got to kind of think about where you're going to cut it, where you're going to cut your crotches off, how you're going to even things up, and then how you're going to end up splitting it. So the ratio I have found is about 5 to 1. The last big bunch of stuff that I did, about 50 face cords or 17 full cords, and I got about 10 or 11 or so face cords, about 3 or so full cords. And so yeah, it's good wood because it's free, so that's a good thing. And you get a lot of nice looking wood out of it, but you do have to work on it a little bit. It's not like cutting just pure straight logs or bolts, you know, stuff that's just beautiful. But then again, firewood is work. And if you don't think it is, you haven't cut much firewood. Okay, back to work. Well folks, both of the saws are out of gas, but more importantly, I'm out of gas. My back is tired. A lot of big rounds here. I've been ripping and throwing them to the side. I cut about 5.5 tanks or so, give or take. I'm not sure exactly how many, but there's a bunch of wood here. I'm more than halfway done. Still got a bunch behind the camera to do, but I think tomorrow I'm gonna come and I'm gonna split this stuff up because there's quite a bit here in the way. If I get this done, this is more than a trailer load full, and then I can cut the rest of that up too. So that's kind of the plan, I think. It's supposed to be a rainy day tomorrow, so I don't know what's gonna happen. But today's work is done. Right now you're gonna poke the button, all the buttons actually. You're gonna come back tomorrow 5:30 a.m. I have another video just for you. Between now and then, you're gonna go to my channel and you're gonna watch a video. That one's a good one right there, watch that one. And then watch some more. There's 1,000, there's over 1,000. Good night, Irene.